India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made a big charge at the opposition parties today. He alleges that they are rattled after being defeated in the recently held state polls. He says they are frustrated and that is why they disrupt parliamentary proceedings. Prime Minister Modi's big statement comes on a day when a record number of MPs have been suspended in a single day. 141 MPs have been ejected from Parliament, both from the lower house and the upper house. It's a figure which is unprecedented in the history of the Indian Parliament. Why? They say it's for a simple reason. They say they want accountability from the government. They say they want answers. Answers to why and how on 13th December, on the 22nd anniversary of the 2001 terror attack on Parliament, two men breached the security of Parliament once again. For seeking answers on how the intruders managed to evade layers of security to enter the House and release coloured smoke. Yesterday, 79 MPs were suspended. Today, 49 MPs have been suspended. These include National Conference leader Farooq Abdullah, Indian National Congress leaders Shashi Tharoor and Karthi Chidambaram, Nationalist Congress parties Supriya Sule, Samajwadi parties Dimple Yadav and many more. Since a security scare last week, the opposition MPs have been protesting in both houses of Parliament. They wanted the Home Minister Amit Shah to answer questions about the security failure. The Speaker of the lower house, the Lok Sabha, Om Birla, said that the MPs were suspended due to their unruly behaviour. He maintains any security-related incident falls under the purview of the Secretariat. He says, and I quote, "The government cannot intervene in responsibilities of Lok Sabha Secretariat. We will not allow that either." Now, that was last week. That's when the spree of suspensions began. But the suspended members do not see it like that. They feel betrayed. They have criticised the move as unfair. Now, the opposition leaders are up in arms. So what does the rule book say? The general principle is that it is the role and duty of the presiding officer to maintain order in the House. In the case of the Lok Sabha, it is the Speaker of the House. In the case of the Rajya Sabha, it is the Chairman of the House. In order to ensure that the proceedings go smoothly, the Speaker or the Chairman is empowered to force a member to withdraw. He or she can direct a member to withdraw if it is found that the member's conduct has been disorderly or disrespectful towards the authority of the chair. It is meant to clear any obstruction in the House so that business can be conducted. But what are the terms of suspension? The maximum period of suspension is remainder of the session. If suspended MPs cannot enter the chamber or attend the meetings of the committees, he or she will not be eligible to give notice for discussion or submission. He or she also loses the right to get a reply to questions. In this case, the ruckus was created because the opposition say they wanted answers from the government. Now that we have all the facts laid out, let me pose the big question. Was it really required? It's a question that matters. And it matters because it is in the interest of the public. Let me explain how. Suspension is supposed to be a last resort. Asking questions is the opposition's right. Answering the questions is the government's responsibility. The Indian Parliament works according to an essential principle, the principle of collective responsibility. It means that the ministers of the council are held responsible to the Parliament in any case of consequence. Well, this is a case of severe consequences, so isn't it the responsibility of the ministers to conduct honest and open conversation? Yes, a parliament cannot function if there's constant ruckus. Yes, parliamentarians sometimes resort to deliberate disruptions, but it only highlights the need to strike a balance between deliberate disruption and discussing important issues. It is difficult to conduct business if there are planned parliamentary offences and deliberate disturbances being made for publicity or political reasons alone. In closing, it is quite clear where the buck stops. The responsibility for a well-functioning parliament rests squarely on our elected representatives. They must prioritise smooth operations of the House. They must avoid deliberate disruptions. They must ensure that when they speak up, they truly represent the interests of the people. It is incumbent upon them to be proactive in finding solutions. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.